Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Off-Axis Builds. Tonight I got a small little project that I was working on over the weekend. I'm finishing it up tonight. Basically I'm closing off that gap between the fiberglass nose and where the back of the spare tire would mount to. I just wanted to close it off to kind of keep hot air or cool air blowing up underneath there. Anyways, so what I did is cut out a piece of cardboard, kind of got a generalized shape, and then I cut a piece of aluminum to fit in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I got. And remember guys to always like, comment, and subscribe. Alright guys. Alright guys, so I'm gonna make a cardboard template to fill in this area here. Once the nose cone's on, the cardboard will actually touch the nose cone. Okay, what I'm gonna be doing is actually removing all of this. I'll probably leave a little bit of these two sections in the corner just for support for the fender sides. But the reason why I'm removing this is so I can put the rack and pinion steering in there, and where it's going to mount is almost in the same location where this is right now. It's going to be up underneath on the beam and pulled forward so I can get a little bit less of a sharp angle towards the steering column and just kind of tweak that a little bit so it's not so sharp. So anyways, first things first is I got to get a template made. I think I'm bolted onto these three here, and then I'm going to come down and then dive at an angle going both directions. Once I get that template made, then I can put the nose on and shape it to the nose, and then it'll actually create a seal in here so no hot or cold air will come up into here or into the cab. So I'll get that made. I also have to find another location for the whatever tag this is, the VIN tag. So I'm not sure quite where I'm going to mount that. Maybe I'll just bring it up and put it on top of this piece of metal here. So that's that plan there. If all this works out, obviously I'll be removing the steering box and taking off all the brackets off the beam that I don't need. So let's go ahead and get this thing cut. Actually I already have this one cut, so I just got to make the two side pieces and go from there. Alright, so this is actually the center one piece. Obviously drill those holes in the piece of aluminum, so it's going to sit something like this right about here. Okay, and then I'm going to take two pieces on either side. One's going to just dive down, another one will dive down here. I don't necessarily need to do that, but I think I'm going to, just for give a little extra look, and also I think it'll allow the headlights to sink in nicely in these areas. I may have to trim this back end angle so the headlight can sit there and not interfere with this. I'll find out more when I put the nose on. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this thing here. Okay, so I'll just draw a line across that, cut that, and probably duplicate it for this side. We'll see once I get it cut if it matches. Alright, so it looks like I got it right in there where I want it to be, okay, which is good. Might need a little trimming. Yeah, I think I need to trim this edge and this edge just a little bit so I can get it fit in there a little tighter. But the gist of it's there. Once I get the nose cone in, I can kind of get where this is going to arch, okay. I can already see, I know I'm going to have to cut off a lot here. This thing's probably only going to be about another 4 or 5 inches long, but I'm not going to cut it back until I get the actual dimension. But in the meantime, I'm going to trim this side and trim that angle just a little bit more, actually. Yeah. Little void, and I'm going to fill in. Okay, so basically from those 3 bolt holes on the right there all the way to the nose, that's roughly about 6 inches. I'm going to actually get a tape measure on there and measure that. Then that will give me the actual measurement for that front nose piece, or excuse me, for that center piece. And then from there I'll arch it to fit what we have on the 2 corners. It's a little hard to... So I'll get a tape measure from here to there, and then once I get over to where the edge of the angle starts to get around this light, I'll kind of figure out that arch to that far point right there. So let's go ahead and get a measurement here, and then I'll work that section. Alright, you guys ready to turn this thing into aluminum? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I got this angle finder here. Once I get a few presses down on it, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out, put it in and see what it looks like. I'm probably looking at something like maybe a 20 or 30 degree bend. I'm going to start with 20 and we'll go dry fit it. So let's go ahead and get this thing bent. I don't know, guys. I think for the first shot, I think that fits exactly what I was expecting. Let's go ahead and take a little closer look. So now all that's left is I gotta mark the two edges, trim up all that metal underneath, and then probably fill those in with something just so it's smooth on both sides. But let's go ahead and get the nose on and see what it looks like with this piece in. I may have to trim up the aluminum just a little bit, but let's see what it looks like. All right, so as it turns out, I do need to do a little trimming on this piece of aluminum. Okay, I'm probably gonna go at least to this side of that black line, maybe just slightly more, but it starts from about here, comes into about here. Same thing over here. So that'll actually give me a little bit closer fit here when everything slides in. Let's go ahead and get this thing off, ground down. So that's a piece of aluminum that I got in there. It fits nicely against the nose cone. I got the right arch all the way across. Okay, I attached it to just the 3 holes in the middle. It's about, I want to say about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So that leaves me just enough to put a gasket around that edge and then a gasket down those 2 pieces there. So anyways, that filler piece is done. Like I said, I just gotta weld in this guy here. Probably put a bead along this edge and maybe some on top on both sides. So the next project is actually getting up underneath. You might not be able to see much, it might be too dark. Yeah. Getting up underneath and trying to fit that rack up in there. All right, so stay tuned. We'll see if we can get a rack of pinion installed underneath this piece I just cut and on that beam. All right, guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of Off-Axis Builds. Got that piece of aluminum in the front installed. The only thing I have to do is weld in that piece of filler metal behind it. But all the prep work is ready for the rack and pinion. If I do decide to go that route, I'm going to see if I can squeeze it in there. But in any case, I need to seal off this front area anyways. So remember guys to like, comment, subscribe. Remember guys, it's built, not bought. See you on the next one.